Hi friends, welcome back to another Cozy Corner chat with me, Macayla. Today we are getting into the juicy details of what it's like to be alcohol-free in your early 20s. Your girl has been alcohol-free for almost 2 years. Actually, it's like almost a year and a half, because I remember I made a TikTok recently and I looked at the app on my phone and it was like a year, 5 months, and 15 days. So it's been almost a year and a half, and I received actually a ton of feedback from that TikTok, and I shared a little bit about this on my Instagram story and had a few girls reach out saying like, thank you for talking about this. It's not talked about enough. I took that as a sign to talk about it more. Being alcohol free has been the best decision I could have made for myself. Truly, it has changed my life in a way. Like, I know it sounds dramatic, but it really has improved my physical health and my mental health, and just the way that I feel about myself. My confidence has skyrocketed because of it. Not just my confidence with like my body and the way that I feel about myself and the things that I do because I don't drink. My confidence has improved because I've been so dedicated to this. Like almost 2 years of no alcohol as a 23-year-old girl, when alcohol is so prevalent and a huge part of our society. That gives me so much confidence about my ability to stay committed to something, about my ability to rise above when people around you are all doing the same thing. Let me just say, before I get into all of this, I'm just gonna say this once, hopefully. I do not judge people for drinking. I'm not here to shame anyone. This is just my personal experience, and I'm here to share it with those who may also want to explore an alcohol-free life, who might be struggling in some ways, and to give you some tips on how you can navigate that. So let's go back to why I chose to live an alcohol-free life. There's a lot of different reasons. I unfortunately do have a family history of alcoholism, so alcohol has always been the devil to me. I always have hated it because of just the experiences that it's caused for my family, and a lot of trauma that I dealt with as a kid and even as a young adult. And I didn't drink for a while. You know, a lot of people start drinking in high school, like here and there. I had my first sip of alcohol, I think like shortly after my 18th birthday, which of course, like, you should wait until you're 21 until you're legal, but nobody freaking does that, let's be real, right? Compared to like a lot of friends, I waited a little bit longer because I was nervous. I've always had that thought in the back of my mind that I'm gonna turn out to be like people in my life who have struggled with this addiction. But then when I turned 21, you know, being able to go out, go to bars and clubs, that was a whole experience, and that was really fun. 2022, the beginning of the year, I went through a breakup, and then I was going through some really traumatic stuff, and I noticed that I was drinking a lot more than usual. I wanted to go out a lot more. I did some really bad, not really bad things, but things I wasn't happy to hear about or to remember the next day. And I just realized that it was becoming a coping mechanism. And I said, girl, that's not good. That's not okay. And I was feeling terrible. I was gaining weight. I felt sick all the time. I was so tired, so I wasn't productive. Like, if I went out on a Saturday night and I got super freaking drunk and I woke up Sunday feeling like shit, throwing up, so tired and hungover, then I would waste that entire day. And, you know, I'm trying to be out here living my best life. I could have, you know, just simply taken a step back and been like, let's slow down. But when I know something's not supporting the best version of me, when I know something is not serving me in a positive way, I want it removed completely. When I first started, it was hard. And if you're going to choose to start living alcohol free, I want you to know that it's okay to feel tempted in the beginning. It's going to feel challenging. A couple weeks ago, I made a video about building habits. It's hard to let go of habits that you've had for so long and create new ones. It's hard to go through a breakup. Like last week's topic, we talked about being single. It's hard to go through a breakup and feel like yourself right away. Like it takes time. So just like anything else, when you cut out alcohol, something that you may be using frequently or, you know, here and there on the weekends to let loose and have fun with your friends, like, it's gonna be hard, and that's okay. Like, let it be hard. You don't have to be like, I've got this, it's not hard, like it's okay, it's hard. And I experienced that, but luckily for me, I had really wonderfully supportive friends and family. So I hope that you'll be able to say the same. I hope that you have a good support system, because you will need it. My friends never once peer pressured me. I felt peer pressured just by being around them drinking. I knew that they weren't doing it in spite of me, right? They're not like, oh, we're drinking and you should be drinking too. Are you sure you don't want to order one? Like, they would ask me about it. They would applaud me and be like, you know, I couldn't ever do that. You're awesome for doing that. And my family, like, so proud of me. So that support helped a lot, and I hope that you're able to have a good support system. And honestly, if you make this decision and you don't have that support and your friends are judging you or they're trying to peer pressure you, that says a lot about who you're surrounding yourself with. And that in itself is a whole other topic that we could jump into. And going back to the app on my phone, it's called I Am Sober. And it's a wonderful app that you can use for literally anything that you're trying to break free of, any sort of habit. It helps you to track how many days you stay away from those things. Seeing that milestone add up on my phone has been from the start a motivator. Almost 2 years later, I still have the app and I still love to see it. I don't look at it as often, but it helps me to keep track and to just remind myself of how far I've come. Having that was really helpful, because any moment I felt tempted, I would just pull up the app, I would look at it and say, I'm already 7 days in. Let's go another day, you know, and just kind of starting with small milestones. If you're in the beginning stages and you want to hit 12 months sober, but you're literally a day and you're like, how the hell am I going to do this for 12 months? Just focus on the now. Focus on the day that you're in. Focus on getting through that day without drinking. That might be a little extreme, like that's kind of how alcoholics take it, right? And how people with like true addictions look at it. Sometimes it can feel that way, even if you're not identifying as an addict when it comes to drinking. It could be something that you're still relying on. And you know, when it comes to the weekend and you're ready to go out with the girls and they want a pregame or whatever, and you have to be strong in your own mind and in your own being and say, I'm not gonna do that, that's when it can be a little bit, you know, challenging. So having that app, having those supportive friends that are like, girl, you don't, you know, it's okay. We know you don't want to do that. Like, we can still have fun and go out. Another thing too is that people ask a lot of times, in my experience, like why I'm sober. I don't feel that they've done this insensitively. I don't think people are meaning to like pry. I think it's just because it's uncommon for someone my age who lives in a society where alcohol is very normal to consume, especially when you go out to bars. A guy will come up to me and say, what are you drinking? Let me buy you a drink. And I say, I don't drink. Most times I've had great responses. There was one time in particular that I'll never forget. This guy like high-fived me and was like, that's awesome. I love that. Like, more people should do that. That felt so good. It felt so rewarding to me. I'm not doing things to please others, but to know that my decisions for bettering myself could possibly impact others is so awesome. And I love that about being alcohol free. I feel as though I've helped other people to see that like it's cool and it's just as fun, maybe even more fun. In my experience, it's been more fun. But yeah, people might ask questions and you have the right to decline and be like, well, that's really not any of your business, or you know, I'm actually really not comfortable talking about it, but it's just a decision I've made to better myself. Or you can be open and honest like me. I will go into depth. I'm like, well, I felt like shit. I was gaining weight. I was doing stupid things. It was not benefiting me in any way, and I'm not trying to do things anymore that don't serve me positively. I'm only doing things in my life that allow me to evolve into my highest self, and drinking alcohol was not one of them. So I cut it out. And then when I tell people that, they're kind of like, okay queen. It's totally up to you how you want to navigate that, but be prepared to maybe get asked some questions, or sometimes, very, very, very rarely, to possibly get judged. If it's coming from friends or family, then once again, that's like a whole nother avenue. Maybe you should reconsider who you're surrounding yourself with. But if it's coming from strangers and they judge you like fuck them, like clearly they don't, you know, they're not with it. Like they need to be like that other guy that I had an encounter with. But there was one guy recently, I was in Texas, and there was pong, like beer pong at the bar that we were at, and they like got it in one of our cups. So he was like, oh, drink up. And I was like, I'm not drinking, it's literally water. And he got like angry, and literally like it was him and his friend and me and my cousin, and he walked away. He literally left, and like the other guy just played with us because we said we weren't drinking. That to me was just so bizarre. And it's kind of like, so what, you wanted me to like get drunk so you could like take advantage of me or something? That's the vibe it gave. I'm not saying that that was his intention, but that's definitely the vibe it gave, which is really weird. Not saying that that's gonna happen to you or that like it happens often. More times than not, 9 out of 10 times I have had amazing reactions from people when I tell them that I don't drink, and I love that. And I hope to continue this movement of being alcohol free in your early 20s. The other thing that you can expect is to feel fucking awesome. Feel so good about yourself. I was waking up feeling so crappy all the time and regretting things that I did, and now I get to go out. I love being DD for my friends. Not only am I driving in my own vehicle and like I am in the comfort of my own space, but I get to take care of my friends, and I'm very much that like mom of the group. I just feel so much better when I go out. I feel more safe, I think, because I'm in control of the things I'm saying and the things I'm doing, and I'm very aware of my surroundings. I mean, I don't really go out to any sketchy places. There's literally like one bar club that I like to go to, and I feel very safe when I'm there, even when I was drinking. I just have much more fun because I'm me, and I am still the life of the party. I know a lot of people choose to drink to kind of get rid of that social anxiety and let loose and have fun, but I don't know. I feel like if you have to drink to have fun, then you're too reliant on alcohol, and you should challenge yourself to not drink. I think that you should work on the underlying issues, right? Like there's something going on there if you feel like you have to drink to have a good time. And not drinking has allowed me to work on those things. Like my confidence, it was definitely one of them. I used to say, oh, I'm so much more confident when I'm drinking because, you know, I'm just like loosey-goosey over here. That wasn't cool. Like that's not okay. I had to work on being confident as me in a sober state and just who I am, and not drinking has allowed me to grow in that area. If you think that not drinking makes you lame, or like people are gonna think that, or it's like not cool, I think the complete opposite. I think it's so cool if you're the person that's like, yeah, I don't drink, I don't need it. You stand out. You are different from most people, so it makes you unique. It makes you, I think it makes you freaking cool. I think I'm pretty cool, like, and not to say that I wasn't fun and cool when I did drink, but I like this version of me much more. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know not everybody's gonna choose this lifestyle, but if you are like sober curious, and or you feel that you maybe are struggling a little bit with your drinking habits, challenge yourself to get sober. And just once again, start with the now. You don't have to set this big goal. I think I originally set a goal of like doing a year sober, and now I don't think I will ever drink again. I obviously can't say for sure because I can't predict the future and who knows, but as of right now, not drinking has improved my life so much. Why would I go back to it? You can still have some really tasty drinks. I honestly am a water girly through and through, and like I'm at the point now of my journey where I don't care if I'm the only one who's not drinking, and I'm just having water with extra lemon. That's my go-to, okay? But if you do want to have a little fancy mocktail, go for it, order it. You can either just ask to have a drink made virgin, or sometimes you go to places and they have mocktails, which hopefully will become more of a common thing. I was recently in Texas, and all of the restaurants that I went to had mocktail options, and I live in Massachusetts, and that's not very common up here. Once again, you can ask for virgin drinks, but these restaurants in Texas literally had special mocktails, like with fun names, and tasted so delicious and looked really pretty in pretty glasses with little mint leaves or whatever. Like I love that. I love that, because people who don't drink should get the same like little pleasantries, right, that you get when you do order a drink. There's a Instagram account that I recently found and this woman makes mocktails. I'll link her profile in the description if you want to check out her recipes. I definitely recommend. I haven't tried any yet, but every time I see, I'm like, save, that looks really good. All in all, I love being alcohol free. I encourage you to do it, even if it's just for a little bit, just to kind of like get your mind right, get your physical right, you know, focus on those underlying issues that might be there. You don't need it. It's okay if you want it sometimes, but if you're drinking because you feel you need it, then that would definitely be a sign to take a break, try the sober life, and then maybe after you come to the conclusion that you don't want to drink anymore like I have, or you know, you want to incorporate it here and there. But that is what I have for today's Cozy Corner chat. Continue the chat in the comments by letting me know your thoughts, your questions, anything else that you have to share. Please like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who might need it. But that is all for today. I love you, and until next time.